Hey everyone!
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the channel. Today, we are on our way to Character Warehouse. We're going to talk all about Character Warehouse. We're going to tell you about the things you might want to know if you're thinking about visiting Character Warehouse. So, I think it'll be a good one. Should we just jump into it?
Yeah, sure we go.
So currently we are on I-4. This is a road known for being packed, known for being high traffic, but it's a road you'll probably end up being on if you are going to be driving to Disney, around the area, especially if you're going to be going to places like Character Warehouse. But we'll talk a little bit more about the process of getting there in a bit. First, let's talk about what the Character Warehouse is. So chances are you've probably heard about these outlets that you can get Disney Parks merchandise for super cheap, or at very least reasonable prices. Now there are a lot of outlets around Disney, but they don't sell official Disney Parks merchandise. Most of the time they sell random Mickey Mouse generic Florida merch. The Character Warehouse, these are the two outlets in the area that sell official Disney merchandise. They are a Disney store, but they're not the Disney store. Well, I guess there aren't any more of those anyway, but they are a official Disney store. So there are two of them. One is on iDrive or International Drive. One is on Vineland. I will put information about them in the description below. If you are coming from Walt Disney World, I think, how far is the closest one? What, 10 minutes?
15 at best.
So 10 to 15 minutes for the closest one. The one we're going to today is a bit farther away, and that one is anywhere from 15 to...
That's it. No, not anywhere from 15. At least 20 to probably 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the traffic.
He's right. We don't want to give an unrealistic expectation. And the reality is, if you're visiting, especially during a peak season, you're probably going to be in more traffic getting here. So yeah, 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even more. And we're going to take you with us to the outlet today. We're just going to give you a brief look though. We're not going to go crazy because the merchandise moves really quickly. It's always different. And that's another really important thing to keep in mind if you're going to visit a Character Warehouse, is that the merchandise, not only is it hit or miss, but it's an outlet. So you're not necessarily going to find everything that you might be looking for. You're probably looking at stuff during the off season, and you're definitely not looking at a wide array of sizes for clothing, not complete sets for things like dishes or whatnot. But you will find those one-off items that maybe didn't sell well at the parks.
I feel you know what? I feel like it's a good way to describe it. You go to a yard sale or a flea market, and you find what you find.
Yeah.
You might get lucky. You might find nothing. You might find the same stuff that you found last time that you came here. Who knows? It's all a toss-up.
Now, there are some things that you can usually find at the Character Warehouse, and I say usually, meaning hopefully usually, because I don't want to give you, again, any unrealistic expectations. Nothing is guaranteed, so just keep that in mind. We're almost there. We're about 2 minutes out now. It has been a little bit of a crazy drive so far, but that is one of the things that happens when you are driving around not only the Central Florida / Walt Disney World / Universal area, but any really heavy tourist area. You're going to encounter that kind of thing. But we have arrived at the outlet. So let's find a place to park, and then we will head in. So we went in whew, it was a little crazy in there. Kind of hard to film video, but we took some pictures and we will put them in here. Again, Character Warehouse is our outlets, so it's sometimes slim pickings, sometimes weird stuff. For example, today we found about 5 different kinds of Spirit jerseys, all at very reasonable prices, some around the $30 mark. None of them were any bigger than a medium. So there's that. There were some items that I'm just not sure they were a deal. For example, they had some Christmas popcorn buckets, but they were $24.99, which is about the price of a brand new popcorn bucket at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So not necessarily something that I was considering buying. The pins were okay.
You found 2020 Disney Cruise Line pins.
Mm-hmm. For $2.99.
$2.99 a piece. So, I mean, $3 a pin is nothing.
Nope, and it's perfect. Throw a few on your lanyard or backpack, and then you can trade for something at the parks. I did see that they had pin trading boards here.
Yeah, so if you actually want to trade right then and
trade
there on
right
the spot.
here.
Yeah.
Let's see. We did see a lot of clothes. Some were in my size, or in his size.
Yeah.
But they didn't really appeal to us, or the prices weren't what we were willing to pay for those particular items. So it's just one of those things. It's a little bit crazy in there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, now we're actually going to turn around and try and visit the other outlet.
Yeah.
No promises that we'll actually go,
Yeah,
but that's the plan. So
let's
head on out. So we got some good deals, and we didn't have to go that far. It was still 20 minutes. We did take a toll road. We'll talk more about that at the end. But the question that I'm sure is on everyone's mind is like, is it really worth going to the outlets? Is it worth heading off property or out of the Walt Disney World area, like the immediate vicinity, to deal with traffic, to fight for parking, and then go into the outlet stores, wait in line, fight to get the stuff you want, and then leave? And that's a good question. Do you have some opinions on this, Ross?
So I think if you're coming to Disney and you're one to stay in the magical bubble that we call it, where you're not renting a car, you're using Disney transportation, but you're like, you know what I'm going to do? For one day, I'm going to go to the car care center, I'm going to rent a car so I can go to the outlets. I would not do it. I would not do it.
What if you were taking a Lyft?
I would only go to one outlet if we were going to take a Lyft. I would not go to this one that's way further out. I would go to the closer one, and whatever you find, you find. That's what I would do. If you are like, I need to go, I have to go, everyone says I have to go, I gotta go, then that's what you do. But I would not be coming all the way up to this one. I don't think this one was worth it compared to the other one.
I have to agree with that. This outlet, at least in my opinion, it doesn't feel like it has as much stuff.
Also, here's the thing, right? So this one, as we noticed, had a lot more clothing.
It definitely did.
And here's the kicker. You can only fit into so many sizes.
And they did not have any wider of a size range.
No,
so earlier I said that, when you go to the outlets, they have very limited sizes. They still had limited sizes. They had more clothes, but still the same sizes available that you would find anywhere else. I also think that if you're considering the outlets, there are 2 things you really want to keep in mind, okay? The first being, how are you going to feel about the traffic to get where you're going and fighting for parking? I'm not going to get too deep into this today because we need to have a separate discussion where I can be a little bit more real and adult-oriented when we have this discussion. But I have noticed that there are a lot of people very frustrated when they are driving to and around Disney. Overall, I have seen a lot of people obviously stressed out, obviously overwhelmed, overstimulated, whatever it is you want to call it for you and your family, when up to a theme park in their car, in their rental car, and then heading into the parks. If you are going to be stressed out, overwhelmed, or feeling anxious driving in the crazy traffic on your vacation, this is not necessarily going to be an option I think that you should consider.
Change of plans. I'm taking it. No, change of plans. So, as you know, with anything tourist related or very popular related, things get packed very fast. And this definitely includes, discounted outlet stores and factory outlet stores, specifically Disney Outlet.
Yeah, so we're actually not going to go to the outlet. Sorry if you were hoping that we were going to head to the second one. We'll go some other time. We will be back there, but it's just the traffic was out of control, and
we could pick and choose. We had a choice today. We could pick one or the other to get there first thing in the morning. You can't do both.
No.
How about this? Can you do both? Yes. Should you? I don't agree with that at all. Because you're just going to be burning your vacation and your time waiting in lines, waiting in traffic, and then having to deal with trying to find parking.
And this brings up my next point about the downsides of going to the outlets. So first and foremost, like we've been talking about, the selection isn't guaranteed. You don't know what you'll be able to find. So that's something that you might want to keep in mind. You're also not guaranteed like the best of the best deals. You might find some deals, but they still are going to require you to save a little bit of money. For example, it might be $60, $70 full price, but at the outlets, it's, $40, and that's still outside of your price range. So that's a very big possibility. But another not so obvious downside to going to the outlets is the stress and lack of magic that visiting outlets can bring to your trip.
Yeah.
Yes. The stress and lack of magic that going to the outlets can bring to your trip. You had something to say?
No, I'm just concurring. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be in a separate video, so it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll do another video, like I said, so hit subscribe, do all that good stuff. But long story short, here's the thing. If you're going to be going to the outlets, you're going to be dealing with traffic. You're going to be fighting for parking. You're going to be dealing with a bunch of people just like you who took time out of their vacation to go to the outlets, and it is barbaric at times in there. People grabbing things, sometimes pushing and shoving, lots of people like in your way. It's just the way that it unfortunately is. And if that's how you want to spend part of your Disney day so that you can save a little bit of money, then that is awesome for you. When I'm on vacation, it's not for me. I don't like being in any more crowds than I have to be. I don't like trying to get merchandise. Like, I don't like trying to hope that I can maybe get a piece of merchandise. Does that make sense? Am I making sense, Russ?
Yes. Here's the thing. The goal is to save for your vacation and enjoy your vacation. Save the extra money and just stay in the park merch kind of thing. Like, that's where my brain goes, and you know what I mean? But that's just where my head's at. I get why people go to the outlets to try to save a buck and definitely get some good merch cheap. Totally agree with you. But just accept the fact that it comes at a cost.
And I also think that this is something, I've mentioned it before, I'll say it again, you have to know your family. If you have a family that's going to be frustrated, angry, anxiety filled or overwhelmed by going to a place you're gonna have to fight for parking, you're gonna drive through crazy traffic, you're gonna maybe pay some tolls. If that is your family, then consider that this is going to be like a really sore day of your vacation, because it could be. I know that we want to pretend that everyone's like their best when they're on vacation, but that is a lie you're telling yourself. It's not true. People are who they are at home when they're on vacation.
And sometimes it's actually worse.
Yeah, sometimes it is actually worse.
I'm sorry, I think it's amplified.
Especially if you're like, I paid all this money to come here, blah, blah, blah. We've heard them. We've heard those people in the parks. Like I said, we're talking about it some other day. But also, if you're gonna take a couple hours out of your day, I mean, at this point, we've been gone for a couple hours. If you're gonna take a couple hours out of your day and then realize that you didn't get anything, if that's a problem for you,
don't do it.
Don't do it. But that basically concludes today's video.
That's it.
So, if you liked this, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. You're going to want to subscribe. I'm telling you, you're going to want to subscribe. Okay? I can't tell you why right now, but it's a thing. But yeah, that's basically all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
So,
Bye.